So for this video, I'm going to continue with the dark theme I started at the end of last video. Because this coin has lived in darkness and obscurity for 600 years. But held in the hands of people like me, people who knew what it was. This coin, in and of itself, has an incredibly strange history. There are legends around this coin. Legends that say a variety of things. Like that Blackbeard's soul goes with the coin, that he's trapped to it and can't leave it. There's talk of the curse of the silver being on the coin, that anybody who plays with the coin, anybody who handles the coin, will go mad. Not directly insane, not stark raving lunatic, but become greedy. End up a pirate kind of greedy. Even if they weren't one to start with. In fact, you could be a really nice guy. Find the coin. But there's rumors about that too. Legends. And the legends say that the only people who have ever found that coin, and I did find it, will already know the legend of the coin. They'll already be able to identify it. They'll know everything they need to know that it's real. Yo, that was true for me, because I had seen Blackbeard's diary. I read it. I remember hearing those legends as a kid, and then finding the coin, already knowing what it was. Seems an odd coincidence. There are other things that were said about that coin. Over time, of having owned it for the last several years, I've come to find that all of the legends of that coin were true, save for one. See, nobody's ever really wanted to handle it that knew about it. And since everybody who's found it knew about it and knew what it was, nobody's wanted to handle it. I did. I didn't really fear a curse. Didn't think about it as being something that could be real. And so I decided to do an experiment. I decided to pass it around to various people. Let them look at it, let them hold it in their hand while I told them this story. According to the legend, if anybody ever did that, it would break the curse. Or it said it would break it. Didn't say what it would break. I assumed that meant the curse. That Blackbeard's soul would be freed from the coin, or that the curse of the greed on it would be broken by somebody who wasn't greedy. It actually made some sense. I mean, the whole thing was struck in greed. The silver was created out of greed. The king killed the other man out of greed because it wasn't as valuable as he had said. The whole story of the silver, of its piracy, all about greed. So it made sense that the curse of that coin would have something to do with greed. So, to see if anything would happen, because, well, you might not believe it, but the curse is real. When I held the coin, I one of those guys, I don't want to sell drugs, I won't do that kind of stuff. But I will tell you that I got greedy. Enough that I was wheeling and dealing in stolen merchandise within 6 months. Not because I wanted to, but because somebody would offer me something and I would see an opportunity to make money on it and I would just start doing it. And I didn't think about it at first. I was like, man, there was a time I never would have done something like this. It wasn't really grossly immoral or illegal. I didn't go steal stuff and sell it. But I started becoming more entrepreneurial. I started to take opportunities to make money that I wouldn't have thought about before. In fact, I was on the lookout for them. In the first couple of years, I made more money in my pocket than I had had before, because I was constantly, suddenly on the lookout for opportunities, walking around with a piece of pirate treasure in my pocket, so to speak. Maybe that's what did it. whatever the reason, it was true. And I felt it. I noticed it. And knew that this was unusual for me. Somebody who never really cared about money. I walked away from a rock and roll career in the 80s to volunteer to serve in the military. Never took money from either one. I'm owed money from the music career, but I've never gotten a penny. Point is, I didn't live my life as somebody who focused on the money. Had I done that, I would have been very wealthy by the time I was 20. But I just didn't care about that. All that mattered to me was serving my country. All that mattered to me was contributing what I could. I'm a knighted man. So for me to tell this part of the story is a little awkward. Because I've lived my whole life not giving a thought to money. And then all of a sudden, I was finding I cared. Now, it did actually say that was one of the legends of the coin, was that if somebody who didn't care about money found it, they'd actually become a good businessman. And if somebody who was a good businessman found it, already had money sense, already was chasing after money, they would become very, very greedy. Blackbeard swore he was not truly a pirate until he got the coin. And when he got the coin, he went from just trying to feed his crew to a pirate, to all about the money kind of a pirate. Well, that actually played out true. I took a man that cared nothing for money and made him care about money. Now, some caring about money is healthy in a society that's all about money. And I found for me that was the case. It was actually a favor to me. It was like a service it had done me, because it made me take that aspect of things more seriously in my life. Interesting. Very interesting. The other major theory of that coin, the legend of that coin, was that the curse would be broken if I let enough people handle the coin. Only it didn't say which curse. I had assumed it would be the curse of Blackbeard being trapped to the coin. That would be the curse that got broken. That if he was somehow released from it, freed from it, he could go back to his body. And I started doing that out of the blue? No. Because creepy shit kept happening. Because that story, straight from hell, popped into my life. All of a sudden, I started getting the weirdest things happen. The weirdest things. For example, I started having this dream about how to build a ship. Having this guy tell me, my soul is trapped with the coin. Take me home. Showed me a grave. Yo, I've actually seen fucking footage since then of that grave. And it's Blackbeard's. He said it was there. Sure enough, it's there. I had no idea his body was in the Cayman Islands. I found out half the details I know about this story, because he told me. And then I found out that these details were true. First, I thought I was losing my shit. Fact is, the curse is real. The curse is real, and I can prove it. I know it for a fact. I built the fucking ship that he told me to build, and it works. In fact, if I had the money right now, I'd be building the full-size version. Urged me to sail the Cayman Islands so that I could return the coin to his body so he can be free. See, it turns out the only part of it I broke, by handing it around to people, was the greed part. I've gone back to not really caring about money. And it did break the curse. In fact, it broke the coin. I handed it to the last person. And all of a sudden, it went in his hand. Only I put it in his hand. He was nothing but delicate with it. No way he cracked a pure silver coin. He didn't drop it. I've dropped it. You can't crack silver that way. Try it. You can smash it with a hammer. You won't crack it. But I watched the coin crack in my eyes. He saw it crack. and knew it was creepy. Said it was creepy as hell because it didn't break. He shouldn't have broken it. There's no way it could have broken. But it says it would break it. It doesn't say what. It doesn't say the curse. It meant the coin would be broken. And the curse of the greed would be broken. But that's all. And it did. It did exactly what the legend said would happen. And that shit creeped me out. I still see his face whenever I think about it. It's like he's there if I wanted to talk to him. I could ask him advice about the ship, about the rigging, and I'd have it. Creepy as that sounds. Bullshit as that sounds. Yo, I got the frickin' ship, yo. And so all I'm going to say is that I've seen the proof. The coin is real. The curse is real. And so my life's mission has altered. If it was up to me, I'd be going to the Cayman Islands to return this coin. In fact, it's a dangerous trip. I might not survive it. Made more dangerous by the fact that I hold that coin. And if anybody there should find out that I have that coin, and that I'm going to go there, I may end up dead because somebody will try and rob it. It's considered to be very, very valuable. Most of the treasures that are known that were originally his, and we're talking about the original Blackbeard here, and I'll get that covered more in detail in the next video. There are two Blackbeards, both called Teach as a nickname. One took the name of Edward. I basically use that in the beginning because it's the only Blackbeard everybody knows. And the other one is actually from the 1400s. One's from the 1700s. While one copied the other. And so the man from the 1400s, his actual first name was Edward. And he changed his middle and last name. The other one took the name of Edward Teach because he was the new Blackbeard and he knew it. From all accounts, he had the coin, and he decided to copy the man who was trapped with it. He gave him advice, but he never rebuilt the man's ship. But he did build his own. It was a different design, but he built his own ship, no doubt guided by this coin. Creepy though that sounds. Guided by the fact that he had the original man there, a shipwright by trade. A brilliant man, capable of designing a ship and building it from scratch. I know this is going to sound crazy, but it's not. It's literal truth. This is the story of the coin, and the curse is real. He absolutely goes with the coin. He's trapped with it, held to it. God knows for how long, 600 years or so. And he can't get away from the coin. He says there's a range. He can travel a distance and come back. But he can't leave it permanently. Eventually he'll be drawn back to it. And after a while he can wander off again. Pretty cruel fate, really. Every single owner of the coin has told stories about it. In fact, the legend says that if you hold the coin, he will try and convince you to build a ship, to put together a crew, and to sail to the Cayman Islands to put the coin back with his body. But because the coin is valuable, and everybody who has it sees it as treasure, nobody has ever done it. Nobody wanted to give it up. Some have sold it, done other things, but they don't want to give it away for free, let alone buried in the frickin' ground with some dead guy. And so nobody's done it. Many of them have told him they would. None of them have done it. I heard all the same voices telling me to take the coin, put it in the ground with him. I don't even have to bury it. I could leave it and take it later, and he wouldn't care. Once it's there, his soul will be free. That's what he said. Now, that may not really be true. He may find there is no curse breaking there. And all I can do is jam it into the ground with his grave, and at least then his soul will be with his body. That being said, I want to find out one day if it's real. If that part of it, but I don't even have any doubts anymore. Originally, I just wanted to find out Now I know, and it scares the hell out of me. And one day, I hope to go there and give him his coin back. But until that day, it resides with me, a cursed coin, in my life, B. I know it sounds crazy, it sounds so untrue, but it is. And it's the creepiest thing I've ever held in my hand. I've done some cool things in my life. If I can complete this story, it will be by far the coolest, by far the creepiest. But if it goes with the rest of the story from this coin, it'll be a journey from hell. And I should be prepared for hell or high water, because so far everything that's been attached to this coin has been right from hell. And I have no doubt that my trip will be no exception. Pray for me.